member for Lindsay.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. It's with a lot of sadness that I rise today to talk about my good friend, Don Randall. I'll keep my condolences quite short today because really I've only had the pleasure of 2 years with Don here in this place. But in that short time, I feel I got to know him quite well. Don was a man that cared deeply about his family, passionately about his community. He cared for his colleagues and he loved the Liberal Party. He didn't care much about the glitz and glamour of Canberra, nor a lot of the protocols or the pomp and ceremony. He was a man that cared about his mates and mentoring everyone around him. As a new member in this place, I have to say, you knew when Don took you under his wing. You knew when Don really thought it was worth investing in you. And I remember one of those first meetings with Don, and I was sitting in Bob Baldwin's office after a spectacular meal that Bob had prepared, and there was some spectacular sushi. I think it was salmon and one of Bob's, actually no, I think it was one of his spearfish and one of his wonderful tuna that Bob had caught himself. And we started talking about FOFA because it was quite on the agenda at that time, or it was just starting to come onto the agenda, but everyone was talking about it in the sense of the bankers and what have you. And for some reason, maybe I had a glass of wine and a bit of Dutch courage, but I started talking about it from the context of the self-funded retirees and the pensioners in my community, and how this legislation as it stood was actually going to hurt people that I guess weren't necessarily foreseen at the get-go. And there was another young, would-be minister in this table, and we were robustly debating it, me from the perspective of a constituent and the soon-to-be minister discussing it from the perspective of the bankers and merchant banker land. And it was quite a robust conversation, and Don was sitting back and enjoying his glass of wine. But it was at the end of this that Don turned around and said to my now fiancé, the conversation tonight gives me faith in the class of 2013, that they actually do get it, that it is about the people we represent. I have to say I always felt blessed by that, and I felt blessed that it was actually that dinner where I got to meet my fiancé. And Aaron and Don struck up a very, very good relationship and a good mateship. In fact, Aaron thinks of Don as a second father, and the last week Don was in Parliament, Aaron would come in here and, I'd go looking for my fiancé and he'd be down in Don's office. Every single night he'd be down in Don's office chatting away to Don. But Don's thoughts were always to the mentoring and the stewardship of his fellow colleagues. He was so selfless in so many ways. I remember Don quite often coming into my office, and his stewardship wasn't just to us members, but he'd come down and sit and talk with my staff and have a chat to see how they were going. I mean, we've heard today about all the staff that worked for Don, but his mentoring actually went further, and I thank him very much for the words of advice that he came and gave my staff. But really for me, I think Don is such a loss to our Parliament, but his legacy will live on. We have all learnt so much from him. From me, I think what I've learnt in the 2 years here from Don is that at the end of the day, my job is to represent my community and to fight hard for the people I represent. That is a wonderful lesson from a man, and it's a wonderful blessing that we have. And as standing here today as the member for Lindsay, it is an honour. And to Don, thank you. Vale Don.
I thank the member.